board. It's Friday, another day for the program Perspectives coming across to you from Osrc Television here in Ondo State, Akure. Welcome on board the program. My name is Remy Allen. Yeah, I know that today it's for a lot of people. There are a lot of celebrations today. A lot of Owambes. You might be attending a baby christening, or it could be a burial ceremony. But whichever one you do today, please just do everything in moderation, in my usual words. Welcome on board. Before I came on here, I got a story that really saddened my heart. I'm wondering why these things happen, because it's not as if it's known. It's something that is common. It's something that is now becoming rampant in our society. A father having carnal knowledge of his daughter. The story is about a man who has been having carnal knowledge of his 70-year-old daughter in the past 4 years. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 good years. The painful part is the fact that he lives with the children, even with their mother in the same home, and the woman knew nothing, absolutely nothing for 4 years. He's been raping his own daughter, not stepdaughter, not someone living with them, his biological daughter. And when I had to say it's generational curse, because his own father raped his sister, and so that is enough for the law to take and say, okay, since it's generational, okay, Joel, let's leave him, let him be. This is sad. The wife actually discovered recently, and they said the sad part of this is it happened in Ondo State at Igoba area. The mother came home one day and discovered that her bed scattered and all that. It was in that process that she asked question, and the daughter confessed to the father. Her father has been sleeping with her for 4 years. This is sad. This is really sad, and I'm glad he's been arrested. I want to believe that the law will take its course. Welcome on board once again. I'm not doing the show alone today. In my usual way, we have our delectables, babes, sweethearts, the beauties, the glamorous girls. Let me start with Isosa. Yes, I'm glad to tell you that Sharon is back with us.
Yes, good morning and welcome back, Sharon.
Thank you very much.
The story you just spoke about is really sad.
Very sad.
And when you said it, I don't even know the reaction to give, because yes, in as much as we would say what happened for 4 years, why is it that the mother is unaware of it? Sometimes you don't know what the father might have brainwashed the child with. Because now if you take 4 away from 17, how old was the child?
She was
13
years.
So you could tell that at 13 she's still young, still very gullible. She doesn't know. What if the father had told her, this is how we do it in our culture, this is what we do in our family? And the child that is unaware of these things, because she's not exposed yet, she will take it as a norm, and she will tell the child that you don't have to tell mommy knows about it. So you don't know what the man might have said. So I guess it's maybe that day God just wanted the mother to find out, and with what happened, and then she went to meet the daughter. What happened, and then the daughter had to speak out that this is what has been happening.
You know, it's not just a man. He's a pastor.
A pastor.
He was even arrested on the mountain top where he went to pray.
You know, that's why they said sometimes when you want to know God for yourself. Because even the people that are standing on the pulpit, they say, I hear this a lot, they say everybody is a sinner, but we just sometimes judge the people that sin differently from what we do. Because now imagine how can a pastor in a church be having carnal knowledge of his own daughter? Now what would you do with someone else's daughter? If you can do this with your daughter, that means your niece, they are not even safe with you. The neighbors, your church member, because I know sometimes some women will even say, I want my child to go and stay in the pastor's house during holiday. Now a pastor that is having that kind of knowledge on like with his own daughter, what do you think he will do? Because now most people feel like when you take your child to the pastor's house, the pastors will put imbibe morals. Yes, not knowing that sometimes these pastors are even the perpetrators of some acts. So we just have to be careful, know who to trust our children with. Not even the pastors now is even our safe space anymore. You need to be careful.
It's not. All right, Sharon. Sharon, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I
How
miss
was
you
your
guys so
trip?
much. It was
And
wonderful.
how was the celebration?
We give God the glory.
I know it's you back to back.
Back to
Anyway,
back,
I've been there myself.
God will help us. Okay, based on what you talk about, I want to start with this song. These are my private parts, private parts, private parts. These are my private parts. No one should touch them. No one should see them.
Even that
no
day.
one should feel them. If you touch my private parts, private parts, private parts. If you touch my private parts, I will tell my mommy. I will tell my daddy. If such a situation, who will she run to?
Because even the daddy that she's supposed to tell is
Who will you
the
run to?
perpetrator.
Who will you then run to? This brings us back to child education. If that child was well educated, way younger, I don't know if there is any age for sexual education or something. At least at the age of 8.
But then I'll cut you in there, because now this thing is, you just did with the song you sang, I will tell my daddy, I will tell my mommy. Now the person that you are supposed to look up to is the one telling you this thing is normal. So how would you now know as a child what is good and what is wrong?
Still bounce on sex education. If the woman had played a role there, educating the child, okay, this is what it should be, this is what it shouldn't be. Don't let so person touch you, not me, not daddy, not mommy, not brother, not sister, not uncle. If that was made known to her, I don't think
no matter the girl would have tell, she will also have this consciousness of but mommy says my daddy don't have access to
even your uncle, your teacher,
family members don't have access.
Exactly.
It's just so sad.
It's just sex education, and there was no relationship between the father, the mother, and the daughter. If they were
not close,
yes, she would have observed. She would have noticed something for 4 years, 12 months. Multiply it for 12 months for 4 years. That's a long time. That's really, really a long time. You can't just sit down and you don't have a cordial relationship with your children.
I think that's true. I think you speak to them about
you talk
because now that's 13, 14, now they're in secondary school. So there should be a time where you sit with these children and ask them
talk about
because now at that moment she's already
asking you out.
Sometimes you look at their started menstrual cycle.
Yes.
Those are questions.
You educate about the menstrual cycle. You educate them. That will bring that relationship
to another. You now ask, do you know that when you are on this, you should do this? Do you know that the chances of getting, and then you know that there are ways you bring talk out of children.
Gist will come out naturally. You don't even need to go directly.
When you start with the menstrual cycle, do you know that when you start seeing this, you don't need to get close to men, and then you ask them, how is school? Do you have people talking
exactly.
to you? Before you know,
open up.
And then maybe because now when you tell your child you are not supposed to do this until you are matured enough, and then maybe she goes back and be like, I'm not supposed to do this, but daddy is doing it with me.
The issue was when we're younger. Like they will tell you, don't touch, don't let a man touch you. You're pregnant. Don't let a man see your undies or your panties. Don't let a man do this. Even your brother even brothers were protective of their sisters, of their and all that. But now everyone is just reluctant.
Everybody's just.
I think that's why they always say. You see, when you talk about sex education for children, it should not be limited by age.
It's not age. I once interviewed
a
counselor who says, when I asked that question, when should you introduce your children, your daughters, both boys and girls, to sex education? She said, right from the womb. Like you start talking to them.
It's true. We've had cases where a man defiled a 2-month-old baby. He lost the baby. So I think it's from the womb. You need to start because maybe they listen a lot.
As you start telling them, you start talking to them, you start professing, you start teaching you. That it's from the womb. There's no age appropriate.
It's really sad, and I just hope that justice is served. Because that whenever reason that would have pushed him into the society.
Yeah, he is. Like you said, you rightly mentioned it. If he's doing this to his daughter, imagine what he will have been doing to even younger children in his church.
Yes.
And if investigation is done further, it's possible he must have even aborted pregnancy for
that child.
It's possible.
Anyway,
speaking of pregnancy, I think we have a gist about that one.
Yes.
We'll come back to that.
This is Still Perspectives. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll go straight to the newspaper headlines. Please stay with us. Everybody, thanks for rejoining us. It's the Perspectives on Osrc television. Moving straight to the newspaper headlines, and we're starting today with Daily Trust with this creamy headlines. Headline: Universities head for strike. Wow, we've been talking about this a long time, especially when they gave the ultimatum that if the federal government doesn't do anything, they will embark on strike. Now it's confirmed that they head for strike. I hope the government can quickly do something so as to make sure that this doesn't linger for too long. The last one was for good 8 months, and it's not the best. We can't afford to keep. Something is wrong with our education sector, and until we know what is wrong and it's fixed, I think we'll continue to have cases like this. Alright, so while Barrow Port is still idle 6 years after commissioning, Reps panel, that's coming from Reps panel, goes to page 25 of Daily Trust. Kwankwaso, ACF decry Alabarago market demolition. 420,000 Nigerian children at risk of malnutrition this year. That's some figures there, so high this year. 420,000 children at risk of malnutrition. Please, something has to be done. We can afford to have that. Federal government hikes passport fees second time in 1 year. All right, that's that about the Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government denies signing any agreement with ASU. More details on that is on page 3 of the Nigeria Tribune. PDP considering Jonathan Obi for 2027 presidency. Bauchi governor confirm. That's on page 5 of the Nigeria Tribune. We are under attack, NNPC CEOs cries out. That's on page 15 of the Nigeria Tribune newspaper. Also, 2027, I am not contesting any position. That's coming from El Rufai. SS crude accounts now to $535,823. NEC orders accelerated reforms, and details on that is on page 15. Ibadan Convention, PDP set to inaugurate Finitiri, Makinde, Adeleke, Fubara, Saraki, 105 others as organizing members. That's on page 5. On health, diabetes fuel more aggressive breast cancer, studies shows. That's on page 3. That's, I think, talking about that health zone, it really got me surprised because a lot of people don't know that your weight plays a lot in your health. People just feel like it's not just weight. No, a lot of things, a lot of illness can accumulate just from one little thing that you don't take seriously. And now coming to say that diabetes fuels more aggressive breast cancer, that's not a good one. So please watch your weight and watch what you take also. Federal government targets 1 week passport delivery, vows to end racketeering. Editors Guide decries killings of journalists in Gaza. Abuja Kaduna Road safe. Omokri claims as he tours road, and that's on page 30. That's all we have from the Nigeria Tribune.
Okay, the Guardian newspaper, search in unruly fan conduct, match day violence bludge NPFL in crisis. Federal government approves lifetime salary for retiring senior officers. You can find that on page 7. Tertiary institution on edge as ASU, SSA, NIP, federal government field heightened strike fears. Can find that on page 6. Nigeria faces malnutrition, 79% food insecure, says federal government. 2027, INEC fires back as ADC PDP demands probe of new voters record in Osun State. Can find that on page 6. NNPCL vows to revive refineries.
shops for $60 billion to expand capacity. You can't intimidate us, Osun workers tell federal government over withheld local government funds. 2027, I am not leaving NNPP, but opens to discussion, says Kwankwaso. Kidnappers of Katsina couple, daughters demand 600 million ransom. That's all for the Guardian newspaper.
All right, moving to the Daily Times newspaper. Kwas raises concern over drug abuse among soldiers in conflict zones. That's on page 9 of the Daily Times newspaper. Battle for mining site. Officer gunned down as police civil defense clash in Ebonyi. Go to page 5. It's the story is there. Voter registration meaningless without electoral judicial reforms. That's coming from Atiku Abubakar, and you can find that story on page 11. Insecurity. G7 states move to curb rising cross-border criminal networks. That would be nice, because in a lot of time we've heard that even those who are doing the maiming and killing and destruction in Nigeria are not really Nigerians. So once that is done, I think we'll have a crime reduction in our country. ADC queries INEC over alleged inflated voters registration figure in Southwest. Page 11 of the Daily Times has the story. Nigerians to pay more for passports as NIS raises fees to 100,000 to 100,000. That's on page 2 of that newspaper. That's they are trying all they can to make sure that we don't jackpot anymore.
I think we're going to talk more on that. Stories.
Flight to live will not deter my commitment to oil sector. That's coming from Ojulari. That's on the Daily Times.
Okay, moving on to the Nation newspaper. PDP wooing OB with 2027 ticket, says Bala. NEC OK's 4 years medium-term development plan. Abuja-Kaduna route is safe, says Omokri after tour. Ebonyi raises minimum wage to 90,000 naira monthly. DSS files charges against 9 suspects over killings in Benue, Plateau State. And more details is on page 6. Ojulari, NNPCL lost $500 million monthly to refineries operation. Please seals of Edo NLC Secretariat. Oyo Assembly approval of 300 billion naira loan in order. That's all we have from the Nation.
Okay, moving on to Daily Independent. NEC endorses practical roadmap towards Tinubu's $1 trillion economy. Court dismisses motion to stop Rivers poll LG polls. Mbari Vams upgrades Niger gas after 30 years domestic. You can find that on page 7. My job under threat for proposing revamp of refineries, Ojulari says. FG ASU meeting to stop strike fails to hold. You can find that on page 6. Dangote elevates Ethiopia to number 2 urea producer in sub-Sahara Africa. That's all for. Okay, we have one here. Over 40% of industry have abandoned national grid, says surveyor. PVC ADC asks INEC to explain extraordinary restriction in Southwest. That's what we have for Daily Independent.
Okay, moving to the Vanguard newspaper. 2027 opposition parties battle INEC over voters' data. Also, we have 2027. Amechi rules out stepping down. And here is a writer declares interest in ADC presidential ticket. That story can be found on page 9.
2027 is going to be hot.
Hot.
This ADC coalition, and you can see the caliber of people and nobody wants to step down. Now, this coming and saying he's interested in the presidential ticket of ADC. That means
he's not stepping down.
And he's not stepping down.
He says he wants the primaries to be done. There's nothing like step down for this person. Let it be open.
For everybody
go to,
it's going to be
so many choices. Like you'll be able to choose which one we want. Not just being one person and the other person, and we just have to. Well, we have like 5.
We've always had more. We've always had different choices. People. It's just that there are notable parties that always.
I feel like before 2027 we'll still have more parties, because now that ADC is kind of crowded with our top politicians saying that I'm going for this presidential ticket. Some of them already know that this ADC it's not going to favor me. So I'm sure that before 2027 we are going to have more parties.
We actually have a candidate here. Ramsey will be going for the. We'll buy your ticket.
Woman becomes
it's high time, Someone said if a woman goes for such position, we'll have more of countries not speaking.
Natasha can shock us,
It's
DSS files charges against 9 suspects over Benue Plateau killings. That's on page 6. Diaspora inflows eats $600 million monthly. That's coming from Cardoso. Court declines to stop Rivers LG poll as police restrict movement. You can also find that on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, I guess that's okay. I'm under attack. Some people are plotting to unseat me. NNPCLG CEO Ojulari says. You can find that on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Guild of Editors condemns killing of journalists in Gaza. All right, I guess we still have one.
Yes. And lastly, from the Punch newspaper, we have tariff war. Federal government intervenes as state discourse rift deepens. It has a writer that says NARC summons meeting between state energy commissioners and discourse operators. Tariff reduction can't work from discourse. Our focus on power sector reforms from commissioners. Federal government ASU clash over 2021 agreement. That's on page 2. NEC unveils roadmap for $1 trillion economy by 2030. That's on page 40. Long-term neglect injuring refineries revamp. That's coming from NNPC, and more details of that is on page 26. Federal government defends passport price hike to 100,000 and 200,000 naira. That's on page 30 of the Punch. Motorists lament slow Shagamu Ijebu Ode road repairs. That's on page 30. Awaiting trial inmates feeding gobs. 14 billion naira in 8 months. Federal government eyes 21% GDP boost with e-governance bill. That's on page 28. How 8,000 naira dispute led to Lagos market killings, coming from the traders, and details of that is on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. INEC pushes back as opposition rejects Southwest voters figure. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And that's all we have from our newspaper headlines for today.
All right, that's about newspaper headlines. We'll take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll go to our focus today, and that's on education. This will be welcoming calls from our callers. We want to talk about Imo started it. Now it's going round. A lot of states are already embracing this. When we come back, we'll give you the details. Many thanks for rejoining us. It's still Perspectives on OSR's television. We apologize for that delay in coming back. As I said before we went on that break, that this is the time where we invite audience to call in on what we'll be focusing on today. It's no longer news. In fact, a lot of states, like I said before, they've embraced this. But the sweet story is the fact that Ondo State has also now embraced this, and they've come out to say no to it, and that is the ban on graduation ceremony for nursery pupils, JSS students, that is now being prohibited in Ondo State. And of course, the reuse of textbooks by younger ones in school, who are in school. So this morning we'll be looking at the reforming universal basic education system in Ondo State. To you, what say you about this? How did you, especially for those in Ondo State, because we are focusing on Ondo State today. We've talked when Imo State started. I guess Imo State started that, saying no more graduation parties for nursery pupils and of course JSS pupils. Only SS3 graduates and of course primary 6 they can do that. And I know parents have been complaining more so that the school will be resuming very soon. That
in a few weeks' time.
Yes, in a few weeks' time. That this every year you keep buying textbooks. You keep buying textbooks. To the extent that the younger one in the same school cannot use the same textbook. It's you have to buy fresh one. And Ondo State government has said no, that is no longer going to happen in Ondo State. So we thank God and we're happy. So how did you receive the news as a person? That's what we're asking you this morning. So you can call in on 0706 325 5428. 0706 325 5428. That's the number to call to join the conversation this morning.
You know, for me, the one that interests me the most is the use of textbook.
Oh yes, the use of it.
Because honestly, I think during my school days, I can also recall that I could not use the textbook of my older ones. And sometimes the difference between this textbook is just the cover page, the color. And then when you bring the old one, they tell you, no, we don't need the blue back.
Yes.
We want the one with the green back.
So
but the content is
the same. From the same author.
So it's now looking like the authors or the publishers and the school, they are in agreement, and it's more like it's for their own selfish interest.
You know why we can't forget Ede lives in Calabar?
Because we all used it.
We used it. That was one of the best reader we had then.
Yes.
You know, everybody used it from primary 1 to 5.
6.
A bit 6.
Yes.
We all used it.
Eze goes to school.
Yes.
Ede lives in Calabar. Simbi and you know, lots of story, and they were amazing
Rally and the
stories.
Sugar Girl.
Exactly.
We
so many of these books, amazing books, and you come nowadays, you see, you can't do this, you can't use that one, you can't.
And there's no difference.
There's not much difference.
It's just the cover page.
If we keep doing that, what we used to do, you know, people will know more of these books. This thing cannot leave us, because our younger one read it to us, our older one read it to us, they were reading it and they would just tell us the story.
Do you know what they now do? Even do?
Yes.
But do you know what they now do now? Inside those textbook, they make it like a textbook and a workbook. So now you cannot reuse it again,
because
you need to do like a walk inside the textbook.
On the other hand, I think it makes the job of the teacher less, you know, yes,
in terms of preparing the lesson notes,
those assignments, homework and all that. I think it makes the work of the
teachers
less
cumbersome.
Exactly.
All right, so we're still expecting your call. 0706 325 5428. 0706 325 5428 is the number to call. Reforming Universal Basic Education System in Ondo State. What say you? How did you, when you heard the story, how was it for you? Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Oh, we lost that call.
Please call us back. Call us back. Do it, call us back.
You know, the most annoying thing is you buying, the school will make it compulsory that you buy it in the school. You can't go out to buy.
Now you can't go out to buy.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What's the name?
This is Mrs. Awe.
Mrs. Awe, where are you calling from?
From Akure, Ondo State.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Awe. Let's have your contribution.
Yes, my daughter was one of the students last year. So I have some textbook that the brother have used, and they were saying she cannot use it, and it's same textbook.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
I fought it out.
And they let you eventually?
Yes, because I went to the principal directly that why you compulsory something that is still the same thing. For example, the English, they ask them to buy. It is only the cover page that is different.
Yes, that's usually.
It's usually the cover page.
So after that, there are some other textbooks that were listed that was more important. That they buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, and none of it now. Some of it, my one told me that they didn't open it at the end of the session.
Wow. That's sad.
So you can imagine the exploit.
Exploitation.
They are exploiting the populace, and you know how the things are costly now.
Very expensive.
You know.
All
So
right.
may God just help us.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
For the new development.
Yes.
I'm very, very happy.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Awe, for calling.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
I love
Okay.
the program.
Thank
And I wish
you.
people will be listening to it, because it's not everybody that is still watching OSRC.
Don't worry. At least
we have you now.
People are watching with you calling,
yes.
and more people will join in.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Enjoy the rest
You know,
of your day.
what she just said reminded me of when I was in secondary school. I have a twin brother. I was in A, he was in B. The school told us that we have to buy separate textbook.
Wow.
And it's more, especially
That's when
in
they
English
actually
and
put you in
mathematics.
A,
It's not
Yes.
it's
The fact that we're not even in the same class, that means we cannot have English at the same time.
Yes.
But they were like, no.
Your lesson
The teacher cannot share his or herself. So that means when I'm having English, he's not having English. But they were like, no, that we cannot share the same textbook. That he has to buy his own, I have to buy my own. And I'm like, we are in the same class. What do we need this for?
Alright, 0706 325 5428. That's the number to call to join the conversation this morning. You can also call in to share your thoughts and your opinion about reforming universal basic education system in Nigeria. We have another call. Hello, good morning.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 900 hash. Start recharging now and stand a chance to win big in the MTN Mega Billion promo.